with my sugar sweet and think of your love while I'm holding the spoon. I will stir my tea bag in the morning with love, and if my spirit should rise in the steam I need only my cup of tea, 'cause I'm rosy, rosy in the morning. With my sugar sweet and think of your love while I'm holding the spoon. I will stir my tea bag in the morning with love, and if my spirit should rise in the steam I need only my cup of tea, 'cause I'm rosy, rosy in the morning.
I'm going to tell you a little story. Have you ever heard of a man named Hawkinson Jones? Well, let me introduce this frightful tale. Hawkinson Jones was a man who lived out in nature. He used to own a greyhound dog, and the dog became very sick and stopped eating his hot dogs. Hawkinson Jones fell into darkness when his dog eventually passed away. He buried the dog in the garden, and from that day on, things got worse. Hawkinson Jones started to bury things, bury anything that he saw as a beautiful memory, until eventually he had no memories left. Hawkinson Jones became very strange, weary and tired. He grew old before his years, and when he did hit old age, he rotted away. He rotted before he died. His remains were found by the side of a lake when some young hipsters went there for a splash in the pond. They jumped in and found a rotting arm floating. One of the boys took the arm to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff said, "Oh God, oh no, you guys shouldn't be down the lake. Oh, why, that's Hawkinson Jones's arm. You know something? That place is cursed, they say. You really gonna get it now, kids? I told you not to play around down there, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, yeah. Oh. By the way, kids, do you like my greyhound? The sheriff was known for playing jokes on people. Except today there was a strange stare in his eyes that nobody had ever seen. That night, those little perverts decided to camp out by the lake. Pond. Next thing you know, they'll think they're bigger and deeper than the ocean. Hey Jimmy, how you doing in there? How's your girlfriend? She's fucking great, baby. I'm fucking my girl in here. Yeah, well, it's a shame I didn't bring my girlfriend. Now I'm gonna have to wank off to this perverted magazine. They was having sex with their girlfriends all night by the campfire, when all of a sudden... That's right, kids. Hawkinson Jones came back and buried those guys. He buried them up to their necks. He buried them so deep that they couldn't even breathe oxygen into their lungs to expand them. Their faces turned red, their eyes turned purple, and they puked bugs. Goodness gracious, Mr. Johnson. Yes? We're here again, and do you know what the date is today? The date? Well, I've been pretty busy with my candles and wax and writing and all of the rest of those usual things. Wait. Don't bitter batter about it. Today is Halloween. Oh, Halloween? Oh, yes, it is. And your point? My point is this. Would you mind closing the door? There's an awful draft coming in here. Don't you feel it? Oh, why, yes. Certainly, sir. Now, sit down on that chair. I beg your pardon, sir. Just sit down on that chair. That one right there. How would you like to hear a Halloween story? The spooky kind, you know. A true story at that. Well, I mean, I do need to be getting home, sir. Well, you've already closed the door, haven't you? Well, yes, but, well, just a short one then. I promise you that after you've heard this story, you won't get much sleep tonight. Well, I'd much rather... There's no rathering about it. Sit down on that cushion. You're lucky you've been given one. Comfy? Not too bad. Good, now drink that cup of tea I've just made you. I promise it's not poisoned with rat blood. Now, let me tell you the story. Oh, well, okay, go ahead. The story is about a man named Arthur. Arthur Frail was his name, and he lived alone in a mansion overlooking the countryside. One day, Arthur Frail, was no more to be seen by his beloved black cat. What happened to him? Let me explain. He locked himself in a cupboard, and what happened was, well, a few people came over and were standing outside of the cupboard. Something strange happened that day. He was silent in the cupboard apart from a heavy breathing sound. Now, apart from sleeping like the living dead, no one could be doing anything with such a slow, deep breath sound as that. Now, what basically happened was, in a basic explanation of the situation that I'm about to propose to you, was absolutely true, whether you believe it to be so. Now, the door was locked in the room, and the people could not get out. Arthur Frail, open up the door now. What are you doing? They would ask him. And there would be no answer. It began to get dark and late. Very dark in the room. There was no light except for the moonlight shining through the windows upon the dingily lit cupboard. Oh my God, yes, it's true. Arthur Frail, open up the door now. Please come out, Arthur. Jenny asked him, please come out, Arthur. We'll cook you a nice dinner. We've got your favourite steak knife ready. Come on now, Arthur. Come on, Arthur. We're waiting for you. If you don't come out now, you're going to live the rest of your life. It must be so dark, cold and lonely in there. And we're normal people, you know. The people were not normal. They had escaped from the local mental institution. Arthur Frail was afraid because the old poor man couldn't find his key, and so left his mansion door wide open for them to enter. Hiding his morbid, frail and frightened old frame inside the cupboard was his only way to hide. Would he be safe? Would he be safe? He stayed inside there. He didn't move. It was really very, very hard for the man to breathe. It was hot, stuffy, dark, and claustrophobic, and dusty. He put his hands on the wood, and he put his ear gently against the cupboard door. He was so frightened and scared that those terrifying mental patients were standing outside, ready to do him some harm. Arthur! Come out, Arthur! Come out, Arthur! We won't hurt you! Arthur was so scared. He'd lived a long, quiet life, and he had to make a choice. And so he did make the only choice that he had available to him. He put his hands carefully against the cupboard doors. And then, what happened? Well, right that moment he
pushed open the doors, kicked him in the face, punched him in the teeth, power coming from the waist, kick him in the jaws at a fucking taste. If you want a werewolf, fucking war, pull pulling my guns out and pop, shot to the fucking throat. All you get is blood, go back to the hospital, cause nobody knows you. Fucking forgot you in the fog is gonna roast you. Don't give a fuck, happy Halloween, bro. Fuck him, you fucked him up. Off a frail, just fucked him up. Off a frail, just fucked him up. What the fuck you gonna do? Get out the cupboard then. Now they cuffing on their blood. And they just get fucked like whoa. And he fucks him up with a chainsaw too. Blood. Off a frail bitch, off a frail bitch, off a frail bitch.